Hello everyone, it is Kaiju Stuff here, and today we're going to be doing my top 10 favorite Godzilla figures. And when I say Godzilla, I mean Godzilla, in name only. So, not like NECA Godzilla or just no Kaiju figures, just specifically Godzilla the character. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so number 10, the NECA Godzilla 2014. The reason why I like it is because it looks a lot better than the SH Monster Arts one. And I actually custom painted mine to have blue. And it glows up in the dark. At the end of the video, I will show you that. But I really like the sculpt, and before I painted it, the paint job was really good because he really only has two colors. A very light brown on the chest, which it has, and a very dark black everywhere else on the body. Then the head is very nice sculpt. The scales are very nicely sculpted. I just really like the figure, in my opinion. And the articulation is just fabulous on this figure. You could go like this. It's really good for stop motions, which I would definitely be using this guy in stop motions, and the tail is just fabulous. The only problem is that there's a wire in this, and it's very easy to break. Other than that, really cool, and one of my first NECA figures ever. Anyway, let's move on to number 9. Number 9, the Godzilla 1989 X Plus D4 Reel. You can't go wrong with it. The paint job is just perfect. There's so many little details that I like how one toe is slightly higher than the other. It's just a really nice figure overall, and the eyes have a really real look, if that makes any sense. It just looks very real. And if you look at the back, these spines have a nice glossy finish, and it's a D4 reel, so it's going to be kind of like a deformed look, chibi look, and I quite like that. The scales are once again perfect, but it's X+, so there's no real articulation. It's more of just a really cool statue. Definitely really cool, and I totally recommend if you want a D4 reel. And it's a nice basic Godzilla too. It doesn't come with any accessories, but it's just a very nice, it's basic. Like, if you want a Godzilla D4 reel, this is the one, because it's just Godzilla. It's nothing else. Nothing more. Just a really high detailed Godzilla. Number 8. The Godzilla Monster War Big Battle Playset Godzilla 1992. Made by Bandai. And let me just say right now, it's not the figure itself. It's just how rare it is and how expensive it is. This thing will run you up around $100 just for this, because it did come with these. A Batra larvae, which is a really cool mini Batra, and a Mothra larvae. And I don't know why the tail's up like that. I think it's supposed to be like this, so it's like attacking Godzilla. I'm not really sure, but this all together, because it did come with like buildings and stuff, but when I got it, it didn't come with buildings, and the Godzilla was only around $20, and then these two were like $15, so it was only like $50, the whole thing. And I went on eBay for this just to see how much it was, and it was $100 just for this Godzilla. So it's not really about how it looks, it's just how it's one of the only Bandai 1992 Godzillas. Like, you could tell this is 1992 Godzilla because it's got a very flat head, especially for Heisei era. It's got a very flat head, very small eyes, long legs, you know. Plus, I also got these with it. So, pretty cool deal, in my opinion. The paint's also pretty good for 1992. And I'm glad I have a 1992 Godzilla. Because I'm just glad I have it. Like, not too many people have a 1992 Godzilla. Most of them have a 93 or 94. I'm just really glad to have it. It's very cool. It's like 5.7 inches. It's decent height. And it comes with these. And technically buildings. So I would recommend just to go to like comic book stores, flea markets if you want this guy. Because he's really hard to find, but if you find him for a really good price, he's totally worth it. Number 7 is quite special to me. Because this is my first Godzilla figure ever. The Bandai Movie Monster Series 2016. Godzilla 2000. This was my first figure ever. And, it's been through a lot. Let me just say that. So a lot of people, you could still buy this figure on, like, anywhere for less than, like, $30. Like, pretty cheap. But, like, the third Godzilla movie I ever saw, because the first one was Godzilla vs. Gigan, but, like, the third was Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. And this Godzilla was so cool to me. And I had no figures at all at the time. So I was like, I want a Godzilla 2000 figure. So when I was taking a trip to New York, there's this shop called Toy Tokyo. Really cool place. I would recommend it if you're in the area of New York City, like Manhattan area. And I saw this, and I just immediately bought it. The paint job is great. It has some green, just like the movie. The scale and sculpt is really good because it has like little, if you look, it has like little scales, just like the movie. And the scale, he's around like 6.1 inches. Pretty decent size. He's got the purple spikes, as Godzilla 2000 does. And his articulation's pretty minimal, but it's okay because it's a Bandai. I'm not expecting much from it. And, yeah. And the paint job has surprisingly not really been affected for God knows how many years. I don't feel like counting. So, yeah. Definitely one of my favorites. Number 6. It's a pretty big one. It's 8-inch. Godzilla 1991. And what I really like about this is that, once again, I'm glad to have it. It's 8-inch. It's not too rare. It's just, I'm glad that I even have a 91. Because, once again, a lot of people have 93 and 94. Because that's like the basic Heisei Godzilla vibe. Occasionally you'll see 89. But I'm just glad to have a 91. And I really like the size. It's 8-inch scale. And it really matches good. Even though it's 1991, it matches really good with this 8-inch NECA Godzilla 2. See? He's even a little taller than Godzilla. It matches really good with him. I'm just gonna get rid of that. But I really like it. I really do. The articulation, it's the bare minimum of like these, like the legs move. The hands, what they do is they don't really move. They kind of just like go in and out. The tail's very stiff. Like, I can really only move that without too much force. The head's pretty stiff too. Can't really do much with it. But I just really like the size and sculpt. That's really about it. I just thought it had to be included because I do really like it. I really do. It's just not really it's okay. But I do recommend it if you like Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, or if you have an 8-inch NECA Godzilla, an 8-inch like Destroya, anything. But with the Destroya, it wouldn't really make sense because, you know, burning Godzilla, whatever. Number 5 is another big one. It's actually a little bigger. The 10-inch scale hypercharged Godzilla. Now, the reason why this is even on the list is because, number 1, I love Trendmasters. I already have a video up if you guys want to watch that. It's my entire collection, and this was on it. And I said I was going to make a video on those, so I should probably make a review. Anyway, so, this guy's huge. Like, he doesn't look too big, but he's very bulky. He looks like he has a lot of muscle. In the last video, it didn't work. Still doesn't, because I didn't feel like putting the batteries in. But the paint job is phenomenal. It's got nice shading between blue and gray. If I really want to get close so you guys can see that. It's very nice. And it's got a nice bluish gray. It's not even like a gray. It's like a very bluish gray as the main paint job with some black highlights. And the nails aren't like sloppily painted. They actually have like full color. And keep in mind, this is from like 1994-ish. And also to keep in mind, this isn't like the regular Trendmasters Godzilla. This is like hypercharged. It's supercharged. I don't remember which word they used. I think it's supercharged. And the eyes have a nice red coloring, which actually they glow up. And he roars, actually. He roars as well. It's a very nice figure. I totally recommend. I only got it for like $30 at a comic book store. Yeah. Really nice figure. Totally recommend if you like Trendmasters or anything of the sort. Even if you like just Godzilla and you just want something having to do with Godzilla, this is phenomenal. This is great. Anyway, number 4, we have another NECA. The NECA Godzilla GMK. Now, it's not that this one is better than the SH Monster Arts, but it's a better deal. And if you're wondering, I don't have the Monster Arts the SH Monster Arts figures that I'm referring to, like in the video with the 2014 and the SH Monster Arts 2001. I don't have them, but I've seen many reviews and I've seen the prices. And personally, I really like NECA. However, there are times that SH Monster Arts does a lot better. For example, I have this coming in the mail, and I will make a review on that as fast as possible because I have been wanting that ever since it came out. But anyway, on to this. The articulation is near perfection. There's no like, oh, they could have changed that. No, the articulation is perfect. Look, even the fingers have a joint. It's a little loose, which I think it's actually good. It's really good for stop motion. Like, this is my go-to for stop motions. I like GMK Godzilla. I really do. He's one of my favorite Godzilla designs, not including the entirety of the Heisei era. He's like my 5th favorite Godzilla design. I like what they did with the feet. They're nice and bulky, just like they should be. The paint job is nice. They have a nice blend between white and black here, you know. The teeth are really nicely painted, because the biggest problem with NECA is that the teeth aren't always the bestly painted. But the one issue that I have with this is this tail is stupidly short. Like, if I just place it, like, if I just articulate it, very short tail. Very stubby, if you will. Other than that, that's actually the only complaint I have with this. And if they change that, this would be one of the best NECA figures. And in my opinion, it is the best NECA figure because it's the last one on this list. Anyway. Well, before I was talking a lot of crap about the company SH Monster Arts. And I was kind of making a fool of myself because number 3 is Godzilla 2019. Obviously from SH Monster Arts. There's not too much to really explain. It's kind of just like a way better version than Godzilla 2014 from SH Monster Arts. He's quite tall. He's like 7.2 inches. He's very tall. The articulation is perfect. The paint job is a little bland in my opinion. They could have made the brown on the front a little bit more emphasized. The teeth are nicely painted, unlike most SH Monster Arts. Even though I just ordered one, but whatever. Mine broke here. See that? But you really wouldn't notice that. The tail was nice and long, unlike that GMK. And I really like the SH Monster Arts line really goes well with Legendary's Godzilla design. And just to be clear, Legendary's Godzilla's design is literally one of my least favorite designs, and I don't really know why. Probably because it's CGI. But other than that, I think their design's not too bad. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I'm not sure why. It's just not my thing. I really like Heisei designs. I love the Godzilla -1 design. They did perfect on that. Yeah, but that's a video for another day. My biggest problem with this is one of these joints. I don't remember which one. Come on. This one. It falls off really easily. I have to... look. That's the tiniest bit of pressure. So, other than that, it's really good for stop motions. I have a Godzilla vs. Shin Godzilla, and this was the Godzilla that I used. I don't know why I actually used this one. I should have used the GMK, because it makes more sense. Just because it's slightly shorter. And then Minoa's in the video, and that kind of looks more like Minoa than the legendary Godzilla. I don't know. But, yeah. He's definitely top tier in my opinion. So, my number 2 pick is the Ichiban Godzilla 2021. Yeah, this thing's huge. It's around 12 inches, I think. I didn't really compare it to anything. But this thing is awesome. Mostly because it's a perfect representation of Godzilla 2021. And it has a perfect paint job, in my opinion. The teeth are nearly perfect on this. There's no, bad paint job. If I go around, there's really nice coloring on the scales. The scales sculpt is really good. He looks a bit dirty, which is great, because most of the movie he was fighting. Therefore, he would be pretty dirty, especially since he is in a city with a lot of drywall. The eyes are not googly. The eyes are not googly. And he is huge. However, there is no articulation. But once again, that is fine. It's a Ichiban, which is basically just a knockoff X+, but it's Bandai. You can't really go wrong with this guy. However, he was $90, but then again, X+ was around $300, even though it was bigger, but still. It's a better purchase than the X+ one, in my opinion. It's just a better deal. Okay, now on to number 1. So number 1, with literally no one's surprise, is the Godzilla Island Godzilla. Now, the reason why I like this figure is number 1, it is the Heisei Godzilla. Number 2, it is Bandai. Number 3, it is 6-inch. Number 4, it has one of the best paint jobs of a Bandai, in my opinion. And number 5, the sculpt is near perfect. It's the perfect size, everything, in my opinion, is near perfect. It's not too stiff in the head, unlike other things. The arms are just right. And I only got this for around $20 because someone didn't know what they were doing on eBay. The reason why I like this figure is because I'm extremely biased around the Heisei era, because the second Godzilla movie I ever seen was Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, and that changed my entire perception of what Godzilla was. And this proves my point. Just the sheer, it's not too threatening. When I think of Godzilla, I think of a towering beast that is a symbol of nuclear weapons. And the Heisei Godzilla, just the entire story, plots, just everything with the Heisei series proves my point. With all the characters, and the humans are not boring in that series, unlike the Showa era, and believe me, the Showa era is my second favorite. Legendary is my least favorite. That's just my opinion. Don't take that at all. But the design of the Heisei Godzilla was peak Godzilla design, mostly because it wasn't too threatening. Because with other Godzilla designs, like 54, it is extremely threatening. And Godzilla, all that Godzilla is an animal. And he doesn't know what to do. He's not actively trying to kill us, unless if you're talking about GMK, but that's a whole different story. But if we're just talking about Godzilla in general, most of the Godzilla depictions, he's just an animal. He doesn't really know what he's doing. And when we attack him first, then he fights back. That's it, plain and simple. And by the end of the Heisei series, Godzilla started to become somewhat of a good guy. In my opinion, the Heisei series is the peak, and this figure represents that in a plastic form. I would like to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, it really helps, and goodbye.